because it's oh my goodness. That sounds weird. Okay, anyway, weird. It's weird looking in my hands. Anyway, guys, the greatest you. Yeah, it's Tuesday and it's time for the greatest you. And you'll never guess what. Come on, I'm missing something here. Oh, no, no. We're fixing to be on chapter 9. We're doing, yeah. Okay, we're almost fixing to be on chapter 9. So, let's get into the last one on chapter 8, and that is heart. Number 5 is heart. We all face situations in our life where we're all of our instincts are telling us to give up. You've been trying to fix relationships and nothing seems to be getting any better. You've been working on a project for months and you aren't making any progress with it. You're trying to improve your health, but you keep surrendering to temptations. Or there are a lot of days where you can't get off the couch. But it ain't couch, it's bed. Okay. That's when you hear the voice in your head say, this just isn't going to happen. You start to converse yourself that the biggest decision is to cut your loss. You give your best shot, you think, but it simply wasn't meant to be. Maybe you just don't have it in you, or maybe the criticisms are working against you. However, the reason you're not going to get that goal, before you even think about giving up on something, you got to ask yourself all important questions. Is doing this going to help me become the greatest me? If the answer is no, then maybe moving on is the right thing. That's what happened with me in football. At some point, I realized that football wasn't helping me become who I was supposed to become. It wasn't getting me to my purpose. But if the thing we're talking about matters to you at all, of this going to contribute to your being the greatest you, quitting is not the answer. Instead, what you need to do is use your heart. My husband complains to me about stuff like, oh, you need to get off your butt, you need to get a job, which I understand. I do need to help out around here. And I did have a job and I lost it, of course. But I'm having problems with my legs. I'm also I've gained a lot of weight. I'm 162 pounds now. And my knees, and I did find out I have a hernia in my stomach. And I can't really do anything because my stomach is always upset and hurting. My legs hurt. I can't stand on my legs for a very long time. And I keep telling him I need to go to the doctor. But he says, we'll see. Anyway, enough of that. Let's get back to reading. Heart is finding the strength to give you more even when everything indicates that you have nothing left. I'm sure it's pretty obvious why heart is one of the 5 traits of the championship mindset. After all, mindship. Okay. traits of the championship mindset. After all, championships are not easy to win, and no one is going to make them even easy for you. You're going to face a lot of challenges, and some of those challenges will seem like they're getting the best of you. That's when you have to tap into reserves that you might not have even knowing you had. Let's look at a couple of scenarios. We were talking about at the beginning of this selection, you have a relationship that isn't working out right. And 6 months ago, you decided that you needed to try to find a way to fix it. Maybe you made yourself more open to other person's needs, or you tried to make more time for two of you just enjoying being together. But now you're 6 months in and there's still a lot of the frictions and bad feelings in this relationship. It really seems like it's as bad as it's ever been. You take an honest look at your converse that you've been giving it everything you've got, but you have really given it everything in your mind. You're 99% sure the relationship can't be saved, but you know that this relationship was really good once, and you really want it to be good again. If you try some things that have concerned before, what if you keep doing what you're doing? Sometimes when there's a lot of damage in a relationship, it takes a long time for the other party to regain trust. Maybe if you keep trying, that trust will develop, and all the work you put in will be revealed. It's going to take a lot of heart, but you have it in you. Now let's look at that project. For me, my husband, mine and my husband's relationship is like this. We're really tight, really good. But he has done some stuff in the past. One of his old girlfriends from junior high came into the picture years and years ago, I think in 2014, 15, something like that. I think it was 2014, 15. And he took her to the bar. He lied to me, said he was going to go pay car insurance, which he did pay the car insurance. He did show me paperwork, pay car insurance. But he lied and didn't come straight home. He went, picked her up, and took her to the bar in Baytown, where she had worked a couple times. Then he took the girl to lunch because she was going to go to Sylvan Beach Day with us. And that was a no-no. You don't go behind your wife's back and take a girl somewhere without telling your wife. And they were friends on Facebook for a while. Then she added me on Facebook and we became friends. And my opinion, and this is something that she did after she went to Sylvan Beach Day. She hugged my neck. She hugged his neck. Did everything. And what got me was, they were real good friends and everything. She threatened to kill herself and said, my kids don't love me no more. They don't want me around. I'm going to go myself. Wrong. It wasn't her kids. It was because my husband was married to me and she wanted him back. She actually went looking for him. And she found him and thought he was going to be single. Everything's going to be okay. And he wasn't. He was married. And she wanted to reconnect with him and have a relationship. And I had found out all this because of my son. Now, if you're a wife or even a husband, husbands can realize things like this too. As being a wife, I've been married to my husband we've been married for 10 years. It'll be 11 years come this Friday. We'll be married for 11 years. And a woman knows when their husband is up to something or done something. And I know when my husband's doing stuff behind my back because I feel it. I can feel it. And I feel that something's up. My husband, was thinking like that with me. If you saw some of my videos, I talked about a guy around my neighborhood that had a major crush on me. We don't talk to each other no more. We don't see each other. We don't, he doesn't call me every day like he did to see how I'm doing. We have no communication at all. I let it go. I dropped it. I quit being friends with him because all he wanted was this and this on me. He wasn't getting what he wanted. He said he wanted me for me, but everybody around told me he wanted me for sex. He wanted to grab my boobs, my butt, and have sex with me. And that wasn't about to happen. So if you watch one of my TikTok videos, I talked about how TikTok should be a fun site, but it's a site where guys and girls are trying to hook up. And I flashed my rings and said, I'm married. It's not going to happen, guys. It's bad. But I knew he was doing something with her. And I thought he cheated on me with her. But he admitted to me that all they did was kiss. Nothing else happened. He kissed her. But he said it almost came to it, but he stopped before it happened. And he said, no, I can't do this. I'm married. But if I was not married, I would be all over you. But I'm married, and when you're married for life. Of course, she was disappointed. She wanted to kill herself because, like I said, my husband was married. We both found out. Everything went down south. Then things were good, and they got, she was cool with it. They became friends. He went and spent $1,500 and bought her a truck. But he did buy me two Jeeps, so I ain't complaining about that. But, because he buys me anything I want. But they're not friends no more. And he did tell her, he said, my wife was right. You did want me. You were trying to break up my marriage, but it did not happen. So getting into it more, I was also talking to another guy, a couple guys I met off of TikTok. And I started talking to them. And when they start saying, oh, I love you, I'm like, sweetheart, you can't love me. I'm married. And I don't love you. I love my husband. So let's get back into, maybe it was something. Okay, we're almost done. Maybe it was something to do with your kids' school and require something. A bunch of parents together to help. A couple of them are not on board, but a few of them won't commit. And most of them aren't even responding to your emails. It gets late in the school year, and this is looking pretty hopeless. Your head is telling you that you should probably just give up, but maybe you can try again next year. But you also know that this thing would be really good for your kids. Okay. And for all the other kids in his or her class. Sometimes when people don't join you in a project, it's because they don't understand what the project entails or how it's really going to happen. So even though you think you're tired of dealing with it from every angle, you come up with a new way of getting your message across. Maybe if you figure out a different way to share your enthusiasm, people will help you bring this to life. It takes heart to see something in a new way. When you feel like you're ready, look at it in every way possible, but you have it in you. Or maybe the issue is getting yourself to the gym. Your doctor is telling you that you need to get better shape, and you know that you don't feel as good as you should be feeling. And for a couple of months, you've been doing the gym regular, making yourself get out of bed early, even though you really want to hit the snooze button. But you aren't lost much weight. You can serve that you look flabby and you still get out of breath waking up at walking up the flight of stairs. If you're going to feel miserable getting out of bed only and working out, you might as well feel miserable and stay in bed, right? But you really don't want to spend the rest of your life feeling miserable. And you heard that something in shape often comes in strangers. If you keep pushing yourself out of bed in the morning and you keep putting in your work at the gym, maybe you will hit a new plateau in the near future, and then the rewards will really start kicking in. Okay, I've been lifting weights every morning. I get up. Sometimes I do it before I put on my makeup and make my video. Sometimes I do it after I put on my makeup and make my video. But I lift weights. I do this arm like this 20 times, and then I do the other one 20 times, and I do both of them like this 20 times. And then I go behind my back like this, and I go 20 times, trying to gain upper body strength. And I notice, like, it's getting tight here, right up under my breast. I'm getting tight, so I think it's working, and I feel a difference in my back. My back don't hurt as much, but I can feel, when I'm doing this, I can feel the burn in my shoulders, and it really feels good after a while. So I'm trying, but when I slouch, my stomach starts to hurt. So I've been trying to sit up and trying not to hurt as much, but it does hurt. But I am trying to lose weight. Like I said, I'm 162 pounds, so I'm trying to lose some weight. Let's see. Practicing heart is about getting into a mind setting. Mindset where if you're going to do something, you're not going to give up on it until you get it done. Quitting can't be an option. I can't even be a consideration, can be a consideration when you're on the road towards being the best you. Like I was saying, when I lift weights, there's a couple of times I missed in the morning, and I did do it in the afternoon. I'm also thinking maybe starting it next week, do it in the morning, lifting weights, and lift the weights before I go to bed. I don't know. I'm thinking about it. Quitting can't be an option. If you can't even, okay, I read that. I'm constantly throwing myself a challenge to strengthen my heart. For example, as I'm writing this, I'm training to run the New York City Marathon. Why? Because I believe it's impossible. Are you one of those? Celebrate. A mindset. I believe that it's not our collaborates that holds us back. It's our mindsets. I want to prove that therapy true. Now, I've been a professional athlete, but running a marathon is something I had never done before. And it is, although I am pushing my body to the limit. And there are plenty of times when I feel like I can't do another step. But my heart is telling me to keep pushing. There is a diabetes. I think there's a diabetes walkathon, a marathon where you can walk or run. And there's one for cancer, I believe. The breast cancer one, I think Avon does. It's like an Avon walkathon. When this corona is over with and they get back with the program, I'm going to get with my husband and hopefully he can have that day off. And I'd like to go down there and do this marathon and walk. So I can walk it and see how far I can go and do, and hopefully I can finish it and do a good job. That's something I want to do. Okay. There's a thing that marathoners talk about that works as a great marathon metaphor here. What they say is that there comes a point running extreme distance when you hit a wall. Many of them say this happens around the 7th or 8th. You're using up, you're having trouble breathing, and your brain is starting to screaming as you need, keep going. You'll wind up being taken away in an ambulance. But once you get over the wall, you tap into a whole other level of strength that you never knew you had. And that strength is going to take you to the finish line. With any challenge, there's a good chance you're going to, all right, we're just about done, wind up hitting the wall. That's when your heart is tested. Do you believe that there's a whole other level of strength on the other side of that wall? If you have a championship mind setting, you do. You just need to get some practice and putting it to use. Okay. One more thing to read next Tuesday, and then after that, which was next Tuesday, the 26th. The next month, we'll be on chapter 9. So that is it for this book. New to my channel, welcome, welcome, welcome. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Hit the notification bell if you want to be notified of more. Chapter 9 or 10, I think there's 2 more chapters or 1 more chapter. And then we'll be working on some Bible studies. I'll be reading some stuff from the Bible and asking questions and doing things like that. If you are friends with me on Instagram, you can go over there. You can ask me any questions you want. I will be doing a YouTube video where I answer questions for people. So if you want to ask me a question on TikTok too, you can ask me a question on Facebook, TikTok, Instagram. Until next time, guys, I love y'all and bye.